Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
I'm often asked how come I always adjust the atlas first, right behind the skull. It's obvious that my dog's problem is in his butt. I mean, anybody can see that. Come on, doc, how come you adjust his neck first? Well, just because that's where the symptom is, which is, the weak back leg, the muscle, doesn't mean that's where the problem is. For instance, if I were to step on your dog's tail, the dog's going to yip. So that would mean, the symptom is a yip, a vocalization. It's up at his front end. But, what caused it? Me stepping on the dog's tail. So that's kind of like if we have a nerve impingement at the first cervical vertebra, it affects trillions of nerves in the whole body, all the way through the body. And so therefore, when we relieve that subluxation at the base of the skull, it affects everything all the way through the body, just like when we step on the tail, the front end yips. When we adjust the front end, the back end gets better. And that's why I always adjust your dog's atlas first. So chiropractic addresses the base of the problem, the root of the problem. We try to get to what's causing the problem. It's the vertebral subluxation. And we don't treat symptoms because usually symptoms are just the tip of the iceberg. If you had asked the captain of the Titanic and when he saw the iceberg ahead of him, if it was very big, and he'd have said, no, it's not very big. What's floating on the water doesn't appear to be very big, but what's underneath, is what really got the Titanic in trouble. So these vertebral subluxations are what's causing the subluxations. And that's why sometimes your pet has multiple tips of the iceberg, and the animal chiropractor will adjust one place, and it'll be like, let's see what happens. I think that'll take care of the issue. And it's because what's happening is these vertebral subluxations are lurking beneath the surface, and they're decreasing communication between the brain and every muscle and organ in your animal's body. And by removing these subluxations, the body can heal, rid itself of the symptoms, and get better. And that's what animal chiropractic is about. So I hope you'll let me adjust your dog now.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Helping others experience an abundant life with the gift, art, and blessing that is animal chiropractic is our sole mission at All Creatures Every Spine. It's what we do. It's what we love. It truly is what keeps us motivated to help people just like you. I truly love the art of chiropractic. It drives me to provide the highest level of chiropractic possible. And as fellow chiropractic business owners, it's that love that drives us to become better. However, the reality is that sometimes running a successful business can be challenging. Sometimes there can be obstacles to overcome. We all know the old saying, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Well, one thing that is really easy is marketing our clinic with a professional animal chiropractic website by the Chiro Website Pro, Tony Seymour. He's a professional web designer, and his team at Chiro Website Pro take good care of us. They simply make marketing our practice 100% hassle-free. If you're looking for the number one hands-free way to market your practice, give the Chiro Website Pro a call at 423-779-4630 or simply visit www.chirowebsitepro.com and make sure you ask them about the special ACES discount and let them know Dr. Amy and Dr. O sent you. You'll be glad.
Your active dog needs more than water to rehydrate. Replenish Dog Water Supplement is an all-natural powdered water flavoring, prevents dehydration and provides vitamins for your dog. Created by a veterinarian and rooted in science. Give your dog the care they deserve with Replenish.
Standard Process is a third-generation family-owned company in rural Wisconsin. You could say we just make nutritional supplements, but we know we're changing lives. We grow ingredients on our own certified organic farm without pesticides or herbicides, because we think they should be as close to nature as possible. Quality is our priority. That's why we do everything right here, from hand-picking the seeds to delivery, so you know exactly what goes into every bottle.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Bill Ormston joining us here. I should say Dr. Bill Ormston. Yeah, that's what he is. Better known as Dr. O. It just flows better, doesn't it? The owner of All Creatures, Every Spine, an animal chiropractic education source. And he's from Meridian, Texas. And he's here helping so many people and their pets, because it's a dual thing, right? You're helping the animal, you're helping the owner. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Dr. O. Veterinarian, chiropractor here in Meridian, Texas. We teach animal chiropractic to veterinarians and chiropractors all over the country, all over the world, and we help a lot of animals. Yesterday we saw, it was hot yesterday, but we saw a bunch of dogs. We saw 3 dachshunds that had been paralyzed. They're all in all stages of recovery, but they're starting to walk again. So it is possible. We have dogs here today. I don't know if you heard that in the background, but
no, not yet. Tell me, what dogs you
have? Our Great Pyrenees are in the house today because it's hot. So they all came in. They're gonna probably serenade us.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it is what it is. So today we should, talk about how you can find an animal chiropractor in your area. They're in all 50 states. They're all over the country, all over the world. But you can go to our page, animalchiropracticeducation.com. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, alumni, and you'll find somebody. You can go to yeschiro.com, and I'll be glad to help you find somebody, because that's what we do. And then a lot of times, veterinarians and chiropractors don't know that, hey, maybe we should be looking into animal chiropractic. Is there a demand? And so if you don't ask your vet or chiropractor, hey, why don't you treat animals chiropractically? They may not know. I mean, they may not know that, yes, it's really a thing.
Yes, it is.
So, and it's huge. It's not just for musculoskeletal. I was reading a book the other day about 289 ways that you can benefit from a trip to the chiropractor.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, okay. And it was written by a non-chiropractor, and I don't think the guy has ever gone to the chiropractor. He just Googled and made this book. And because he's got about 10 other books out, 289 ways you can, benefit from your getting better, looking, ways you can, anyway, all kinds of, he's got like 10 or 11 books out, all titled the same. And one of the problems with chiropractic is that even chiropractors have trouble defining what it is we do, unless you really understand the principles, which are that the nervous system controls everything in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And if you understand that, then you understand why it's so important to have a healthy nervous system first and foremost.
Yeah.
If the nervous system doesn't work, nothing else works. And the nervous system is encompassed in these bones that move, to allow us to dance when the music is right. It allows us to bend, but yet protects the cord. And when those bending things don't happen quite right, then they're going to put some pressure on the cord and nervous system. And we know that the weight of a feather decreases transmission by 50%.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, if your big toe's only hearing every other word the brain's telling it to do, you're going to be in big trouble.
Oh.
So, anyway, so how's your arm doing?
Good news is I did a nerve test this morning and the doctor says I'm okay. It's not carpal tunnel. So he did both hands, arms, and they did that little nerve thing, which I'm sure you're aware of. The bad news is, well, there's still a problem. I'm on my 10th session of physical therapy, which I think has helped it. But I'm still not right. And it's better than it was. It's not that 10 anymore, but it's like a 6. It is interfering with every aspect of my button pushing, my job, holding my coffee cup, holding the steering wheel, holding the cell phone to look at my email. Like it's cleaning, washing, doing laundry. It's just emotion, like holding the steering wheel on the way home from the doctor. I'm like, ah. So what does someone do in my position? Get an adjustment.
Go find a chiropractor. So that's one of the things that, as a veterinarian, I have the knowledge and the capability to do anything to your animal. I can do diagnostic testing. I can order an MRI. I can do those nerve testing things. Yeah. I can do physical therapy. I can do x-rays. I can do blood work. I can diagnose, medical conditions, diseases, things with fancy names. All right. I can do all that. I can put your pet on drugs. I can do surgery. I can do all of that. But what we find in our practice is that when we adjust and get the nervous system, we don't need to do any of that stuff. That the chiropractic adjustment is first and foremost. Some states and some of the people that we talk to are like, well, I'm going to go to my veterinarian first and make sure that it's not XYZ. Well, I can guarantee that every certified animal chiropractor in the country, okay, that's taken the certification exams, knows what is not chiropractic.
Yeah.
But every veterinarian in the world does not know what is chiropractic.
Mm-hmm. Tell us.
And so that's why you should go to a chiropractor first. You go to the chiropractor for your neck and your arm, because you didn't know your neck was involved.
Yeah.
But when you go to the chiropractor, he's going to look at it. He's going to say, oh, well, it's your neck. Let's adjust your neck. And we'll go ahead and see what happens. And then your symptoms will go away, and the carpal tunnel. The number one problem with carpal tunnel is actually a nerve impingement at the lower neck. And so you don't have carpal tunnel, so your
Yes.
nerves are still going. But
But
when we look here and look here, it's getting better, but is it still, it's that way doesn't go quite as good.
you're the right. I can almost turn my head through. I feel like 180. Yeah. Yeah. That side, not as much. The left. Okay.
Yep. And so, that means we have those bones in our neck aren't moving quite right that protect the spinal cord. So they're not moving all the way they should. So that means there's an impingement there. We have this thing called sharp. Anytime we have things, it's called swelling, heat, loss of function, or ardor, which is the Latin word for it, redness and pain. When we have one, we have all. They all come
Yeah.
together. So you have sharp, swelling, heat, loss of function, redness, and pain. Now, you don't know that you have swelling in your neck. You don't know that you have a little heat there, okay? But guess what? We just figured out. You have a loss of what? Loss of function. So that means the other four are there too.
Interesting. All right.
And
need
so
my
that's what,
adjustment next. Yep.
yeah, that's why what we find with animals is and sometimes they'll come in. I had one dog come in that was dragging the back leg. They didn't know, nobody knew what happened. It was fine. And 30 minutes later, it was dragging its back leg. They'd spent a lot of money. Actually, they'd been to 7 people before they came to see me. And they had x-rays of the back end of this dog, all kinds of stuff. And I touched the dog's neck and it screamed. And the owner was a little upset with me. She's like, I've been to 7 people and nobody made my dog scream. I said, yeah. How's that working for you?
Mm-hmm.
And she looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, well, did any of them figure out what was wrong with your pet? No, they didn't. I said, great. So you touch right here, dog screams. Touch over here, dog doesn't scream. Here, you do it. And she put her finger there and it screamed. And anyway, we fixed the dog.
Oh my gosh.
And 8 years later, she was doing great. So, yeah. So,
Wow.
but that's the kind of things that we do on a daily basis because chiropractors look at the body from a different way. So if an organ isn't functioning,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not functioning because it's not getting the right information from the brain and the right feedback.
Yeah.
And so it can't do its job.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, if your staff told me to be here at 12:02 today, you'd be like, where's he at?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he at?
And I'm sorry, I'm always like 3 minutes late because the last show. So it's technically you don't start exactly at the time you're told. But
no, right. But we start at 11:30 my time, not 12:02.
Oh. See, I was thinking, so okay. But still, talking about being a few minutes.
Yeah, like, no, I'm talking like a half hour off. And so it would be terrible, wouldn't it? It'd be like,
Yeah.
and you'd be sitting there in silence and I'd be, la-di-da-di-da. And then when I got on here, you'd be like, where were you, doctor?
Yeah.
I'm here when I'm supposed to be here. But that's just faulty communication. And we, a lot of problems in life are due to faulty communication, but a lot of problems in our body are due to faulty communication too.
Oh gosh, you're right. All right, I got to start using the left. So tell me more about some of the animals you're working on. Tell me about your books. There's a lot to you, Dr. O. Just to remind everyone how we can reach you.
Chiro.com is the easiest way. And then you can schedule a consult. You can bring your animal to see me. You can buy the book. You can get to the website. We have Yes, It's Really a Thing, all about animal chiropractic. We have Yes, It's Better Thing coming out. about a chiropractic lifestyle for your dog, which includes diet, exercise, um, and medications, um, to limited amount. And we need to know what's going on with all our medications. What are the chances that there's an adverse side effect with one of these medications or protocols that we do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if a thing is pretty safe, what's pretty safe?
Yeah.
And if 20% of animals have some kind of an adverse effect, do you really care about the other 80% if yours is one of those 20?
Mm-hmm.
You
True.
know?
It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You told me that story. I remember that, right? It was
Yeah.
with your dog, right? Was it your personal dog?
It was a dog I treated. Yeah.
Could you
And
could
then
you
it
just
was
tell us
with my son.
tell
Well,
your son? I'm sorry.
that's
Yes.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yes.
it was a surgeon. Well, my son was hit by a drunk driver, and we were in the hospital, and one hospital had a 1% said he's got a 1% chance of life. And we got him out of that hospital because it was like, why? We got to another hospital, and they took him right to surgery, and he was recovering from surgery. And we said, well, what are his chances? And they said, well, you don't care what the odds are. And we were like, what do you mean we don't care what the odds are? And they said, well, in order to have odds, we have to have 100 young men in the same condition as your son. And if we had 100 young men laying here, in this coming out of surgery right now, how many would you care about? And he said, that's the one we're going to take care of. He said, we're going to do everything we can to take care of your son. And so as a healer, as a doctor, that's kind of changed my way of looking at things. And so, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure your pet survives and has a positive quality of life. That, because that's important, quality of life.
Yeah.
So what are we, if we're just, if I'm just laying around in bed doing nothing, or your dog is just, sitting on a couch, not being able to eat or drink or do anything, what kind of a quality of life is that? If he won't go play ball with you or go fetch, or, he doesn't go outside to go to the bathroom. So that's our goal, is to restore that. And sometimes we do too much, and sometimes not enough. And let me tell you that. So I treated a bunch of barrel racing horses for a family. It was grandma, daughter, granddaughter, and so it's 4 generations basically of barrel racers in this same barn. And I adjusted all their horses once, and then I came back and was adjusting them again, and they said, "Oh, don't touch Granny's horse." Okay, she wants to talk to you before you adjust her horse again. Okay, so we adjusted everybody else's horses. I think there was 13 or 14 of them. Adjusted everybody else's horse. Got all done. I said, "Okay, well, let's get Granny out here so we can talk to her." So Granny comes out. She goes, "You leave my horse alone." Okay. She goes, "Yep, I'm too old to go that fast."
That's great.
And I was like, okay. And then I had a dog come in, and the dog was about 13 and had a lot of arthritis. But when she came in, she was not moving at all. Not moving at all. Barely could lift her head, and we treated her chiropractically, got her to where she was walking. And they would come down every month, and we would adjust her dog. And I was just like, man, your dog is really sore. He's getting around good. She gets around good, a lot better than when she first came in, but I don't know that we're doing any benefit. She said, you need to meet somebody. So she went and she opened the door and she went outside and she brought her daughter. Her daughter had Down syndrome. She was 24 years old, Down syndrome. And we talked for a little bit. And I got to meet her daughter, and then her daughter went back out to the car and was on her pad or reading her book or something. And Mom said with her, it takes me 45 minutes to get to the car once we decide it's time to go to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, when my dog can take care of herself, like eat, drink, pee, and poop outside, inside, do all those things by herself, then, and she's my daughter's dog, she can stick around. But when we first brought her in, I was having to spend 30 to 45 minutes a day helping my dog do that and helping my daughter do that. I can't handle 2 handicapped people in my life. I don't have time. So you are allowing my daughter to have her dog so far for another 6 to 8 months. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like the dog wasn't a puppy. The dog wasn't, but the dog was able to function at a level that allowed the family to keep the dog and bond with the dog. And so sometimes people are expecting different things from their dogs. Granny didn't want to go fast. And the family just needed a dog that could really kind of take care of itself and allow because it is hard for anybody to lose a dog, but especially a handicapped person that's bonded to the dog, it makes it even more difficult. So, it's hard for a dog when they lose their handicapped person too, but we see a lot of dogs that come through some of the rescues that we work with where the owners have been elderly and passed away and the dogs are lost because they're in a family that has more activity than they used to.
Yeah. Wow. It's so true.
So,
oh my goodness. We're helping
it can go
animals
both
one
ways.
spine at a time.
One spine at a time, one atlas at a time. We adjust them. YesChiro.com. And so, we help a lot of people too. A lot of people will come, they'll see their animals get adjusted, they'll see the benefit in their animals, and then they start asking us about going to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
And so we have a list of chiropractors, that people can go to, and they seem to get pretty good results too. So.
Oh, well, that's important. And we want to remind everyone, Dr. O, how we reach you. We still have 4 minutes left, but tell us how we do this.
YesChiro.com.
Perfect.
That's where we go.
Oh my God.
And
Any other stories
if you have
share?
if you have an animal that has problems that you can't get to the bottom of, go ahead and schedule a consult with us. But it's amazing how what's good for your animals is good for us, and what's good for us is good for our animals. We know now that the less ultra processed food we eat, the healthier we're going to be. Well, there's nothing more ultra processed than dog kibble.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
It sits on the shelf for a year and a half and won't rot.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Process. So we recommend a lot of different things and a lot of different paradigm. We're seeing a lot of different changes in veterinary medicine and in traditional medicine for humans, where a lot of people are looking at things like chiropractic and acupuncture and energetic medicine and nutritional medicine. So instead of going straight to surgery or drugs. So anyway, I think our time is about up.
Yes, show us your books. There they are. Okay, I have one for dogs, one for horses.
Yep, one for dogs, one for horses. Yes, it's really a thing. So there's those. Then go to yeschiro.com to get one of those. And, talk to your veterinarian or your chiropractor and say, hey, are you adjusting animals yet?
Yeah.
If not, let's get started. Or can you help me find somebody in our area that does adjust animals?
Yeah. It's funny. Not funny, but my friend had a dog. She was telling me her dog the other day, the hind legs were just kind of dragging. I don't know what type of dog it is. She just said, something's not right with my dog today, and I'm letting her rest. And then the next day she woke up and she said, this was just 3 days ago. I haven't even talked to her. She said, yeah, the hind legs are kind of dragging. I got to bring him to the vet. And I haven't followed up with her, but I mean, stuff like that you see happening, right? And
that's all the time. And go to the chiropractor or the vet. A lot of times the vet's going to say drugs or surgery, and
they'll say, let's try the adjustment. Or is that the proper terminology?
Yep, let's get an adjustment, see what happens. Get an adjustment from a certified animal chiropractic, and they're all over. I don't know what city your friend lives, but we can sure help her find somebody.
Thank you so much. She's out in Utah.
Yep.
She's, I guess, near Park City.
Okay. And we have a few students out in Utah, a few graduates, and Utah just changed their law.
Oh, so what's the law?
The law in Utah now says that a certified animal chiropractor doesn't have to work under the supervision of a veterinarian, which is good, because why should you have to pay for 2 doctors to be in the room?
You're right. Yeah. Not a bad idea.
So, anyway.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Dr. O. Pleasure having you here all this time.
And it is.
We'll connect again soon, I hope.
We'll see what happens. Who knows?
You never know. All right.
What's going to happen. So I appreciate it. It was good to meet you.
Same here, sweetheart.
I hope your shoulder gets better.
Thank you so much.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.